Hello, and welcome back to Kim's Cozy Corner. This is week 6 of the seed starting season, and we are going to continue on with planting seeds, giving updates, as well as uppotting plants. Let's get started. The first thing that I like to do is start off with a clip of an update of all the seeds that we've started before. So here's the clip of our week 6 update to everything that's going on in the grow tent behind me. Welcome back to the week 6 update. Let me share with you how my young seedlings are doing. These are my lettuces and brassicas. I'm giving up on the Santa Claus. All of my onion germinated. And the onion down here is about ready for a haircut. The potatoes are doing really well. Next weekend, I will probably add some more soil to bring it up to the tops of those plants. The romaine lettuce is doing really well. And the tower is doing amazing. This lettuce here was cut 4 days ago and is already growing back and almost ready to be cut again. This red salad bowl was cut 4 days ago, and within a couple of days, we'll be cutting it again. This is called cut and come again lettuce. That's it for my week 6 update. Now that you've seen the update of everything that's growing behind me, here's also a little clip of us harvesting our first lettuce of the season. So we were able to harvest enough lettuce to last us a couple of days. And as you can see in the update, it had been 4 days and that lettuce is almost ready to be harvested again. So we are already eating our 2023 season vegetables. So for today, we are going to finish up potting our celery. So we ran out of seed starting mix last week, so we're going to finish up potting the celery. And then we are going to plant some peppers as well as some leafy greens. Let's first start with up potting the celery. I've already filled a container to up pot the celery. And again, we're running very low on seed starting mix, but I have all of the cells prepared for everything that we plan on planting today. So hopefully we will get through this process. But I still have 3 cells that need to be thinned out. Let's get started with the celery. Look how root bound this celery is, because it's been in there for, I think, about 4 weeks. And I never up potted the celery. So I'm going to carefully thin these out. That's my goal anyway. We'll see if I can get 12 more plants out of this. I want to be careful not to disturb the roots too much. We are going to put them into this container. There we go. There's one. This is easier than I thought. I believe I have more than 12 plants. Let's see how many we can get out of these. They look really, really good and healthy. I mean, no issues whatsoever on these plants, even though they are really, really root bound. Wow, I got 8 out of 1 cell. 8 plants out of 1 cell. And I have 2 cells to go. So I think once again, I'm going to have to find additional seed starting material to take care of all of these plants. All right, the celery's done, and I had to sacrifice some of my babies. So I ended up with 18 celeries out of 3 cells. So I got 18 cells out of 3 cells. And oh my goodness, but I have to sacrifice. I have no more soil and nowhere to put them. So I started out with 6 cells of celery, I believe. It was 6 cells total. And I ended up with 20 plus. So I should be happy. I should be satisfied. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay that I'm throwing away about 10 plants. So it's okay. It's okay. I got to feel like I'm not wasting here. Sacrifice those 10 to save the bunch. Celery's done. We're going to move on to the next step. Next, we are moving on to our leafy greens. So we will be doing a Morris heading collard green. And I have 2 different types of seeds, but they're both Morris heading. I'm going to do 2 different types of green wave mustard. And I'm doing from 2 different companies, but the exact same type of mustard green. And then I'm going to do 2 different types of kale as well. So I'm going to do the blue curled Scotch kale. So I just call it curly kale. And I'm going to be doing the dinosaur kale. And I already have my containers set up. We will do the mustard first. I am going to put 3 per container, 3 per cell. That feels right. If I can do that. They're small. They're very, very small. And I said 3 per cell, but I went back and put 5 per cell because these will be like cut and come again as well, just like lettuce. So I think it can handle it. The mustard's done. So the mustard and the kale will all be in the same GreenStalk. I like to mix my mustard and kale together and give it a quick fry, or either I wilt it and just eat it as a wilted green, but I like to mix it. I like the kale and I like the mustard, but the mustard is a little too spicy for my family at times, depending on what type I grow. But when I mix it together, they never know it's in there. So we will do a tower with nothing but mustard and kale. For the kale, I am doing 1 curly kale and I'm doing 1 of the dinosaur kale. And I know I'm going to put too many in here, but we will separate them and give them plenty of room to grow in my tower once they break ground and I transplant. Kale is done. And now we're going to do the collard greens. And I love collard greens, but I still have a ton left from last season. So we're going to cut our collard green planting in half this year so that I have room to grow plenty of other items. Year's supply. I'm already at a year's supply of collard greens. So we're going to cut back on these this year. Collards, they're done. Next, we're going to move into the best part, the peppers. Let me clean this up first. All right, it's time to talk peppers. So I'm not going to go through the steps of showing you how I'm filling all of these trays, but I wanted you to know at least what I'm growing in the trays. So my hot peppers, I don't have as many hot peppers. I'm only doing 1 cell of most. There's a couple that I'll do 2 cells of because I do plan to gift some of these plants away to friends and families for their gardens. So let's start with the hot peppers. I'm going to do the Tam jalapeno. I'm also doing the early jalapeno. I'm doing 2 types of poblano. So I'm doing the regular typical poblano, and then I'm doing a mulatto um, Islino. I'm messing that up. It's kind of like a chocolate poblano versus the green, dark green poblano. I'm doing a datil, the Greek pepper, one serrano, one habanero, and I don't have a picture of habanero, an Anaheim chili, cayenne long slim, and a baggio. This baggio messed me up last year because I thought that I was growing a sweet pepper. I didn't realize this was a hot pepper. And I mixed it in some breakfast casseroles and things for my family, thinking I was getting a green, sweet, or mild pepper. And the family said, no, I messed up. So this one I messed up on, but I'll make sure I label it right this year. So I will do the sales for the hot peppers. Let me go ahead and tell you about my sweet peppers. I'm going to do several bell peppers. I'm going to do the Purple Beauty. There's this Carnival blend. It's a mix of different color bells. So I'll do a couple sales of those. I'm doing at least two sales of all of my sweet peppers. I have some California Wonders from Seed Share, which is very similar to this King of the North pepper. So it's just a typical bell pepper. The California Wonder is, and it's going to turn red. If you can eat it green, or you can let it continue to ripen and turn red. The longer you let it ripen, the sweeter it will be. I'm doing a Thunderbolt, which is a horn-shaped sweet pepper, one of my favorites. Marconi, very similar to a Thunderbolt, with the thick walls. A Joe Parker, kind of like an Italian frying pepper, thick-walled. There's another mix here. It's a long pepper mix of yellows and banana peppers. The yellow banana peppers should be sweet. Cubanelle, which they do turn red, by the way, and they're super sweet. The walls aren't as thick as the horn peppers like the Thunderbolt, but very tasty. Jimmy Nardello, again, it's not as thick. It's a thin skin pepper, but it's sweet. A paprika. Yes, there's a lot of peppers here. I love peppers and I like trying different things. And the Golden Treasure. The Golden Treasure is a free seed from many years ago. It's sweet. It starts out green and it turns yellow. It's an 80-day to maturity plant. And then the Jalapeno, which is a jalapeno, but it's not hot. And my shishitos, which I love to fry. Ooh, just put them in a little oil, fry them, and then I dip them in like ranch dressing. They're delicious. Love shishitos. And that's it. I know it's a lot, but that's it. 2 sales of each of my sweet peppers, 1 sale of each of my hot peppers, except for a couple of those, like the jalapenos and the chili pepper. I'll do 2 of each of those. And I'm doing 4 of my Thunderbolt because Thunderbolt is my favorite. So let me go ahead and lay all the seeds out. And I'm just going to fast forward it. I'm going to lay 2 per cell in each one of these. And then I'm going to just push them down and we'll be done with the peppers. I forgot to mention my Yum Yummies. I call them yummy peppers. These are seeds from our garden from 2014. I grew them last year. I know that they're almost 10 years old, but they grew exceptionally well last year. So we're going to do it again. So I have some orange yummies, some yellow yummies, and red yummies. So some more sweet peppers. Since the yummies are so old, I'm going to do 3 per cell just to make sure I get germination. Going for 3, got 4. It'll be all right. Remember, I miss shaky fingers. I'm getting ready to mess up. I put it in the wrong place. That's it for the peppers. But there's one more step that we need to consider when we're talking about peppers, and that's the fact that they need a heating mat to properly germinate. So let me move this into the grow tent and I will show you the heating mat setup. Okay, so we are in the grow tent and we need to start our peppers on a heating mat. And my heating mat tells me that peppers should germinate in 7 to 10 days. So we are going to set our grow tent, we're going to set our heating mat up to, I think I did 73, 74 degrees. So let's say 75 degrees. So I'm going to set the timer up for 75 degrees. Here's the timer. And it will keep a constant heat to just these. And we will be good to go with the peppers. Thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Thank you. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.